that if you think you're leading and there's nobody following you, you are only going on a walk. On this platform, you are going to learn principles of leadership. You are going to encounter different leaders. You are going to learn about how you can grow as a leader, how you can make an impact. My name is Ayim, and I'm the host for the leadership platform. I am a leadership coach, a lawyer by profession, a John C. Maxwell certified coach. I have been in corporate life in senior positions for several years, and now I run the Center for Transformational Leadership, where we train and coach leaders to become better leaders. And I invite you to go on a journey with us as we discuss the subject of leadership in the coming weeks.
This and every Saturday, you have opportunity to ask questions, share your views on important leadership matters. Hello. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Leadership Platform. We are excited once again to be with you and to study the subject of leadership with you. This leadership platform is powered by the Center for Transformational Leadership in Africa, where we focus on developing leaders and improving ourselves to become better leaders. At the Center for Transformational Leadership, we encourage leaders to learn, unlearn, relearn, and to grow. So we offer various services, including training services, coaching in different forms, and we train leaders of all levels, from the chief executive to the lowest in the organization, religious leaders, business leaders, and so on. So we encourage you to visit our website, ctl-africa.com. We also encourage you to visit our social media platforms, Facebook, CTL Africa, our YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and learn with us. We have previous editions of the leadership platform on our website. So you can go back and you have several weeks of lessons and learnings from different leaders who share their experience on different topics. And we continue on that journey. So we are excited to have all of you. And if you are joining us for the first time, we encourage you, whether you are on Facebook or YouTube, we encourage you to interact with us. And all of you who are on the call this evening, we want to thank you. We don't take this for granted. We appreciate you for spending your evening with us. We are going to spend about an hour to an hour and a half with you this evening to study about an aspect of leadership that is so crucial to our success as leaders. And so please introduce yourself. We want to know you. We want to know those who are on the call with us. So if you are on the call, just do us the favor of just writing your name and maybe where you're joining from or your organization. We would appreciate you so we can recognize you properly. All right, so we have Ebenezer Yeboah Tufo joining from Abuja. Thank you very much. We see you. Please, if you are online, go ahead and introduce yourself. My name is Samuel Ayim. I am the CEO for the Center for Transformational Leadership. And those who are joining on Facebook for the first time, I'm a lawyer by profession. I worked for years at the stock exchange and at EcoBank, and I left EcoBank about 3-4 years ago and decided to make a contribution in leadership development. So we set up the Center for Transformational Leadership, CTL Africa, where we study and learn leadership. Leaders are learners. So we see Kwame JB is on the line joining from the UK. George Akpabli, thank you for joining. Evans Ayim is on the line. Thank you, Evans, for joining. I can see Suleiman Asafua on the line. Thank you very much. I see Josh Sintim, Joshua Ose Sintim from Legon. Thank you very much for joining. We appreciate all of you who are joining. Nana, K, and Kuma, you are very welcome. We appreciate all of you. I can see Marcelina, Ason, and I can see Tete Junior, Anthony. I can see Nana Ankuma, Ajua, Jechiwa. Thank you for joining from Coventry. We appreciate you. I can see Chilam Haila, who is joining from America. Thank you, Periofori. Thank you for joining. Freda Mensa, hi, thank you. We appreciate all of you who are on the line. We know there are several people, hundreds of people every week join this platform to learn leadership. So we thank all of you for making the date with us. This evening, I'm going to continue a discussion that we began last week, and we're going to talk about an important aspect of leadership, which is character. Character. And that is what we are going to discuss this evening. Please, we are learning together. Feel free to share your comments, your sentiments, and please ask your questions. Put your questions in the chat box. After the presentation, we would answer your questions. So we're going to make a presentation of between 30, 35 minutes. And after that, we would get into the discussion. So let's get going. All right. And once again, before I go on, let me inform you again that we are ready. We'll put it up later on. In January, we are going to do put your dream to the test. Put your dream to the test is a very important, a major lesson on how to develop dreams, how to realize your dreams as a leader. All of us are on these platforms because we want to make a contribution to the world. You want to make a difference in the world. If you don't stand up for something, you cannot stand out. So how do you do that? It's by developing a dream and realizing that dream whilst you are alive, because there is nothing in the grave that you can achieve. So what one thing do you want to achieve? What is your major dream in life that you want to achieve? Beyond building a house and buying a car and, marrying and all those things are usual things that everybody wants to. But what is your major dream for your life? And when you leave this world, what do you want to be remembered for? We are going to do this in January. And so please go on our website and register. And we'll give you the date later on as we proceed. So welcome. Let me try to share my screen and present a few slides. And let's see. quickly. All right. So let me say from the outset that about 2 weeks ago, a colleague who also has who runs training in the leadership center invited me to talk on the subject of character and leadership. So what I'm going to share with you is part of the presentation that I did on that platform. Because of our shortness of our time, I'm not going to be able to do everything, but I'm going to share the essentials with you. And there are some aspects that we can take later on and develop. So if you can see my screen, just show it in the chat. Let me just say yes, just put yes, and let me see that you can see my screen. All right, okay. So this is the this is my screen, and let's see those who see it. All right, okay. So we are going to discuss about the importance of leadership and the importance of character in leadership. Now, the question that this lesson seeks to answer is whether or not you as a leader are a healthy leader. Now, when you say you are healthy, the medical profession will tell you that they check your biology, they check your system, they check your temperature, they do some analysis, a health check, and then you are cleared to say that you are healthy and you are happy to go as a healthy person. Now, when you are a leader, how do you know that you are healthy? And to know that you are healthy is to know that you have good character as a leader. You have good character as a leader. So this is what we are going to discuss today, and we hope that we can learn together. We hope that we can learn together. So go with me as we proceed on the subject of leadership. And as we are going, ask yourself, am I a healthy leader? Am I a healthy leader? Now, I'm going to share something with you, which I believe is something that is current, so all of us would know. We all know about Donald Trump, and we know that elections were held recently in America. And Donald Trump came to be president of the United States to make America great again. In his view, America has lost ground. America is losing respect. America is not being productive. America is not achieving. Other nations are achieving greater things than America, who is the only superpower in this world today. So from the beginning of his campaign to be president, his mantra was make America great again. So several things were involved to make America first and all that. Focus on America and to build the system, build the tax system, build the health system, build the school system. So great ideas that he shared to make America great again. 4 years down the line, elections have come, and as we know, Donald Trump didn't win the elections. The question is, with all the great ideas and the vision that he has and all that, why didn't he win? A lot of us as leaders are focused on the vision. We want to change the world. We want to change our organizations. We want to build strong, dynamic churches. We want to build a strong family. We want to build a big, great business. We want to make the world a better place. We want to make the world great again. That's good. And a lot of the time, what do we focus on? We're focusing on the vision. We're focusing on the team. We need the people who come and help us to build this team. We're focusing on the finances. And where is the money to do this? We need that to be able to achieve our vision. So all that is needed, your finance, the team, your vision, all the resources you need, and all that, it takes strategy. It's very important. And I believe Donald Trump had all that. But why did he lose the election? Now, before the elections, I was having a discussion with a friend, an old friend, a very good person, honest person, and I was discussing with him, Donald Trump and all the things that were going, and I was, trying to persuade him not to vote for Donald Trump. And in the exchange, the slide that you have been seeing since we started, I deliberately put it there for you. And I believe you have seen enough of that. What did he say? After we've had a long discussion, he says, my perspective on our election is that I do not like the arrogance of Trump. And I don't think I would enjoy playing golf with him. But my vote is with him because of what he does and promotes. Very, very important statement here. This is a strong supporter of Donald Trump. He believes in what he stands for. He believes in what he promotes, and he's willing to vote for him. But he says that he does not like his arrogance, and he doesn't think he would even love playing golf with him. Now, think about it. This is your leader. You believe in his ideas, but you don't like his character. How does this work? Now, the elections were held, and as we all know, Donald Trump lost the election. So I go back to him and I say, well, my friend, your candidate lost. Why did he lose? Listen to what he wrote back to me. When I told him that he lost because of character, his character was not good. He says, I agree that Trump's attitude and personality was not the best for a leader. But his policies were right for America and for the rest of the world. This election was about personality and not policy. There are many Democrats that liked his policies and achievements, but voted against his personality. His arrogance was unpalatable to me, and that is what he lost the vote on. Lots of votes were cast to spite him, and he is to blame for it. Now, this is a very, very interesting statement that we are seeing here. This is a leader, and one of his followers says that he loves him, but he doesn't like his character. Then he votes for him, he loses the election, and he says that the guy lost the election on personality, based on his personality. And I believe that a lot of us today know of so many people who have lost elections in Ghana because of what their personalities are. And that is what we want to spend a bit more time on. How do you, as a leader, with great vision and determination, what is so about character that is so important that somebody with great ideas can even lose. It's not about strategy. I'm sure Donald Trump has strategies. He had advisors. It's not about money. I believe he had a lot of money to be able to, prosecute his agenda. So why did he lose? Obviously, he lost because of character. And that is what we want to study. I had a video, but unfortunately, it looks like I'm not able to project the video. Kofi, are you able to play the video for us? If you can, that would be great.
Donald Trump shows clear signs of the most severe personality disorder. It's called malignant narcissism, and it was first introduced by Erich Fromm, who escaped the Nazis and spent a lot of his life trying to understand the psychology of evil. And he formulated this diagnosis of malignant narcissism, which has 4 components: narcissism, paranoia, antisocial personality disorder, and sadism. I think everybody knows Donald Trump's a narcissist by now.
I will be the greatest jobs producer that God ever created.
I know more about ISIS than the generals do, believe me.
Who are you consulting with consistently so that you're ready on day one?
I'm speaking with myself, number one, because I have a very good brain.
But it's the other 3 components that make him truly dangerous. Because many politicians are narcissistic, but he's also paranoid. So all of his crazy conspiracy theories.
The state of Hawaii released my official long-form birth certificate.
The birth certificate was produced in 2011. You continued to tell the story and question the president's legitimacy in 2012, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah. How about this one about Ted Cruz's father?
His father was with Lee Harvey Oswald prior to Oswald's being shot, and nobody even brings it up.
And his sense of being a victim.
Mr. Trump turned his sights on Google, tweeting, "They have it rigged for me and others so that almost all stories and news is bad."
And his demonization of anyone who disagrees with him.
Nasty guy. Now I know why he doesn't have one endorsement from any of his colleagues.
All right, John, I get
Senator
to
Cruz, pick from the buffet there.
He's a nasty guy.
These are all signs of a paranoid process. Antisocial personality disorder, or what used to be called psychopathy or sociopathy. It's constant lying. Well, he's the most documented liar in human history, I think, at this point. It's violating the rights of other people and exploiting other people. So sexual assault would be violating the rights of other people. Not paying your bills or defrauding people through Trump University would be an example of exploiting other people. And it's breaking laws and breaking norms. Well, he's broken every norm of the presidency. That's one of the reasons he's so out of control. There are certain norms we thought no one would ever break. But it's part of his personality disorder to break norms and to break laws. And it's a lack of remorse. He has no guilt or anxiety about the destructive things that he does.
Impeachment for that? It was beautiful. It was just a perfect conversation.
And the 4th component that Erich Fromm identified is sadism. Truly taking pleasure in harming, humiliating, and degrading other human beings. If you read his tweets, I wrote an introduction to a book about his tweets. I had to read thousands of his tweets. And they literally made me ill because it was just one vicious attack on and humiliating insult after another, after another. It's like, how can someone even come up with thousands of vicious things to say about so many people? But he enjoys degrading and humiliating and insulting other people.
I do think that we have enough evidence that most psychiatrists would feel like it's important to warn about Trump. We have a duty to warn.
Thank you so much, Kofi, for that presentation for us. So this is the person we are talking about, Donald Trump. But is he, I'm trying to get back to my presentation and you can see, but Kofi, how do I move the slides again? Maybe I should stop sharing and get back. I seem to have moved. Okay. All right. So I'm stuck here, not able to move my slides. BBC here. Okay. All right. So let me just share my screen again quickly. Sorry. All right. So that is the video we just played. Maybe you are thinking that, well, Donald Trump is Donald Trump. But I have put a slide there, and I'm going to, one of these days, do a full presentation on the slide that you can see on the screen now, which are the 15 leadership diseases as found by Pope Francis. I just want you to focus on that screen a bit and reflect on those diseases. Call them 15 leadership diseases. I'm not going to go into them in details, but I just want you to look at it. Thinking we are immortal, immune, or downright indispensable. Leaders think this way, especially powerful leaders. Excessive busyness. You know, we're so busy and focused, which leads to stress and agitation. Okay? Then there's what he calls mental and emotional petrification. We get so involved in our work so that we don't even focus on the people around us. All of us, myself included, find ourselves in this situation, and leaders get involved that then they become so heartless, they don't think about the people. Excessive planning and functionalism. And, you know, we plan so much that we become so inflexible, and this is what we want done, and that is it. And we don't look at other options. Poor coordination, which then fosters independence and lack of cooperation. You know, like Donald Trump will talk about America first, and he doesn't want to cooperate with anybody. He pulls out of all international obligations that Obama had signed. Leadership as Alzheimer's disease. This is where the person his brain forgets who actually brought him up, who mentored him. And some leaders can come to a point that they think that they made themselves who they are. Then there's rivalry and vainglory. There is existential schizophrenia. Here is where the person is living, we are living double lives. And it affects so many of us leaders, gossiping, grumbling, backbiting, idolizing our superiors, especially those of us in corporate world, bootlickers. They just go. As I said, one day I'm going to do a full lesson on these diseases and how to heal them. Because if you have any of these diseases, you are not a healthy leader. And all of us have one of these diseases or the other. Indifference to others, you know, where we think only of ourselves. Our political leaders today, they're just thinking of themselves, the family and friends. And they don't have principles. They just stand by it. A lot of leaders have this. I see this in corporate world also, where the executives are just thinking about themselves and their packages and the cars they will drive, and they don't care about any other person. Then there's the downcast faces, where leaders treat their inferiors with severity. We maltreat other people who are under us. I've seen people, I mean, just even in the domestic setting, where masters or madams would treat houseboys and house helps with so much severity. These are all diseases. Close circles, family and friends, extravagance, where we focus so much on worldliness and so on and so forth. Now, these diseases, I want you to pause a minute and think about yourself as a leader. Which of these character flaws do you find in yourself? And as I said, we're going to have a full session on leadership diseases and break these ones down, how you get them, what they mean, and how to overcome them. But the point here is that as leaders, we find ourselves stuck in some of these diseases day in and day out. So these things affect our progress and our success as leaders. So the world needs better leaders. There's no point in time where we say we have enough of leaders. We need better leaders. And leadership is influence, and we need more of positive influence. That is why we need to understand the importance of character. It is important because as you are influencing the world, as you are influencing others, every day you are influencing somebody, whether you know it or not. And the risk is that we don't even know who we are influencing. You know, people are looking up to you daily, and we don't know how much power we have. That is why it is important for us to focus on our character, because people are looking up to us. And also the best investment we can make in tomorrow is to develop our influence today, which means developing our character, okay? It's very important because how we're going to succeed tomorrow will depend upon our person. Where are you leading someone now that you could extend your influence? Ask yourself that question. Now, developing character stems from leading ourselves, leading yourself, self-leadership. John C. Maxwell says that the highest form of leadership is self-leadership. Unfortunately, when we become leaders, we are focused on the other person. We want to make everybody better. We want to get others to achieve. We want people to do things, and we are giving instructions, and we are directing, and we are commanding. We're trying to lead others, and we forget to lead ourselves. But the reality is that leading ourselves is the most difficult task. And it is because probably it is the most difficult task that we face every day. That is why we prefer to lead others. But the truth is that if you cannot lead yourself, if you cannot follow yourself, if you cannot be disciplined enough to lead yourself, why should anybody follow you? That is the problem. That is what happens when you are not able to lead yourself. Now, leadership relies on character, good character. The reason is that we learned last week that trust is so important, is the foundation of leadership. But trust is created through character. Now, you can have all the talent in the world, and we've seen powerful preachers, very great, powerful preachers of the gospel, who just lose it. Why? Because that talent can only be protected by character. And once the character fails, you see that your talent doesn't make sense. You can be the best accountant, the best manager, the best banker, the best engineer, whatever you can be. But if you have poor character, you will fail. Again, it is important to have good character because internal peace is fostered by your character. If you have all the diseases that we have outlined, and if you have poor character and indiscipline and you're misbehaving, every time you go to bed, every time you come to the office, every time you meet somebody, you are in trouble because you're not sure what people know about you. And so you don't have peace. It has nothing to do with intelligence. And a lot of the time, leaders are very intelligent people. It has got to do with the choices that we make. Because as somebody has said, there are some mistakes that only intelligent people commit. And some mistakes that only, good leaders will commit those mistakes. Wrong choices. That is what character is. So let me quickly share the 4 dimensions of character that is important so that you can develop your character. 4 dimensions. The first one is authenticity. Second is self-leadership. The third is humility. And the fourth is courage. These are the 4 dimensions of character as per John C. Maxwell in his book, developing the leader within you. And it is very, very critical that to develop good character, you are authentic. And what that means that you recognize that you are human and you have flaws. You want to project the good and the positive that you achieve, but also you want to recognize your weaknesses. That you are human, okay? That is very, very important. It is understanding that as human being, you can falter. Number two, self-leadership is the discipline to grow yourself and to develop yourself. And Ruth Haley Barton says, we set young leaders up for a fall if we encourage them to envision what they can do before they consider the kind of person they should be. This is absolutely true. We focus on people becoming, people achieving great things, but who is that person? Is the character. Humility. F. Moreno says that humility is a habitual quality whereby we live in the truth of things. The truth that we are creatures and not creator. The truth that our life is a composite of good and evil, light and darkness. The truth that in our littleness, we have been given extravagant dignity. Humility is a radical yes to the human condition. Ladies and gentlemen, you are human. You would die. And when you die, you don't even know where you will die and how you will die. Why so much pride and arrogance? Leaders tend to have this disease. And courage is a fourth dimension. Courage makes character possible because as a leader, you're going to make choices, you're going to make big decisions, you have to set standards. To have good character, you have to have values. We're going to see it in the last slide. And if you don't have courage, you are not going to be able to stand. This is very important. So character is not developed in ease. It's difficult. That is why you need courage. That is why you need courage. Now, so to develop this character, consistently ask yourself these questions. Am I the same person no matter who am I with? There are some of us, when we are with Mr. X, we are white. When we are Mr. B, we are green. When we are we change colors like the chameleon. That is a dangerous trait. Do I make decisions that are best for others, even when another decision would be good for me? Very, very critical question. A lot of the time, leaders are just focused on themselves, especially our political leaders. They're just focused on themselves, and every decision they calculate as to how they are going to win elections, and they don't care if they can kill people to win the election, get the power, and it's for themselves. They put their interest ahead of the national interest. And a lot of corporate leaders do that, even church leaders. It's about them and not about the organization or not about the people they lead. But leadership is about the people and not about the leader. The next consistent question you should ask yourself is, am I quick to recognize others for their efforts and contributions to my success? Very important. You recognize the people. We talk about, the leadership schizophrenia, where you're forgetting about, who brought you up. Okay? You're living in the illusion that you are God. That is dangerous. So how do we develop leadership character? 3 things quickly, then we would move into the questions and answers. We've talked about practicing self-leadership. It is the discipline that on a daily basis, you're checking yourself and finding out where can you grow. Number 2, embrace good behavior, good values. Set your values and live by them. Number 3, value other people. Now, embracing good values requires you to ask yourself some specific questions. Like, what are your non-negotiables? Where can't you cross? I had in my previous organizations, our CEO had a policy: we don't give bribes, and we don't give bribes to invest in anybody's country, to buy a license or anything. And so if the authorities want you to give bribes, don't give it. Let them take their country. We are not going to have a bank there. So what are your non-negotiables? What lines will you refuse to cross? What will you stand for, even if you have to die? Has anything changed to change your non-negotiables? Is there anything you want to add to your non-negotiables? Is anything you would remove from your non-negotiables? Very important to set your values and let people know your values and stand by them. That is where we talk about courage. It's very important. Practicing self-leadership, we've talked a bit about it already. What must I do to put myself in a better position to manage your decisions and follow them through? The discipline to decide that you want to exercise every day and do it. The discipline to say that I want to read a book every day to improve myself. The discipline to say that every year I'll have 2 seminars. I will pay for two seminars. And the discipline to follow through. Very important. That is where you develop character. Then valuing people. Very, very important. Leadership is about people. If you don't value people, you can't lead people. That's why a lot of good professionals are very poor leaders, because they focus so much on their profession to the neglect of the people. What can you do every day to express value to another person? Just little things like, thank you, and commending people, encouraging them, and so forth. The people, especially people who are not close to you, what can you do to encourage them? Now, as you look at all these things, the last thing I want to say is we all have our defects. So look into yourself, examine your character, and look at your strengths, look at your weaknesses, look at the circumstances around you that threaten your character, look at situations that you can take advantage of to improve on your character, because character is important. And ask yourself, what areas of my life am I losing grip of? Why do you believe this is happening to you? What have you done to overcome this weakness or this challenge of self-discipline? And what is the hardest thing you have done to improve yourself? A lot of us have conditions that keep recurring, and we haven't done much about it. And the default, especially those of us who are a bit religious, is to say, I've prayed about it, I've prayed about it, I've prayed about it. But prayer without action will not change character. You cannot pray yourself into character, into good character. It requires discipline. It requires action. And so that is very important. At the bottom of it, the final word is that character rests on credibility. Because credibility creates authority that comes from integrity. If people buy into you, they buy into your character, then they will want to have what you have. They want to follow you. They will trust you. And they will align with your vision. So character is what will make people align with your vision, because as John Maxwell has said, people buy into the leader first before your vision. And your character is what is going to encourage people to build trust. So I want to end here and move into our discussion sessions and look at your comments and your questions and try to answer them. So feel free to go into the chat and submit your comments about what we have just said. Also share your experiences with us. Share your ideas, your views. We are learning together. We learned a lot during this session of questions and answers, where we are looking at specific challenges, specific issues that other leaders have. So I want to thank you very much as we wait for your comments and questions on the platform. Thank you very much. All right, so let me see. what questions, comments we are having? Eunice says, good evening. All right. Eunice Mensakin says, God bless you for the message. It's very timely indeed. You are a good leader. I don't know about that. Cynthia Mantisi says, wow, excited to be part of this program. All right, thank you very much. There's a message that I cannot see. All right, Ofer Mercy says, can't download it. Can I download it after? Yes, you have the presentation later on. And we have Ebenezer Tufo. Thank you for your comments. In this lecture, we find that character comes first before what we see that character comes first before whatever technical knowledge one possesses. Without it, we will fail as leaders. Thanks so much, Mr. Ayim, for this insightful lecture. God bless you. Thank you very much, Ebenezer, for your comment. All right. We say Ben says, if you were to be an advisor to Mr. Trump, what will you not want to tell him? All right. Fortunately, I'm not. What will you not want to tell him? That's a big one. What will I not tell him? Well, what I will tell him is probably more important. I will tell him that character is very important. You see, you can't tell Donald Trump these things because he will castigate you. But there's one thing, a lot of us are around leaders who have issues. A lot of us are around leaders who have issues, and we are afraid to talk to them. In fact, there are a lot of people who are around Donald Trump and they don't want to talk to him. They don't want to tell him because sometimes they are afraid. I don't know if it's on this platform. In my career as company secretary, I've had opportunity to serve under several CEOs. And one of the things I've done for my CEOs is that every time I'm hearing or I'm seeing some defect in their leadership, I will find an opportunity and go and sit and humbly draw their attention to it. Because when leaders are cutting the path, sometimes they don't know that the back is crooked, as we have in our Proverbs. So it is important that we who are around the leader stop all this bootlicking. And I have some colleagues in work who everything the CEO says, yes. And even if they are asked for their views before they start, they will just begin. As the CEO said, then they will continue. They want to parrot what the CEO has said. Some people just want to copy the CEO. It is not helpful to the leader if you are around the leader and you cannot talk to the leader and you cannot help the leader. It's not helpful. So let's have the courage to point it out. Okay? All right. I see Nana Ankuma says, please, Mr. Ayim, I want to ask, how do I overcome trust issues as a leader? Well, last week we discussed that. I will encourage you to go back and review the lessons we did last week on trust, if you were not in the class. But it is very, very important, first of all, to understand that if the people you are leading don't trust you, nothing you do would impress them. So the first thing is to understand that one. The second thing is that you have to give the trust first. You have to trust the people. And now the things that we are studying today, character. Your character is very, very, very important. Understand that, build on your character in the discipline. We also talk about competence. If you are there and you are able to deliver, then people would, trust you. So it is very, very, very important. So go back and review that lesson. George says, thank you, Mr. Ayim. Thank you, Mr. Ayim. Is character and attitude synonymous? No, character and attitude is not synonymous. Character goes beyond attitude. So attitude is the way you look at things. But character is your inner person. Character is actually the big person within you. A lot of us are big on the outside. We want to show off. We want to, present ourselves and display. That is big on the outside. We'll go out, we are, especially those of us teachers, leaders, in church, we are teaching, we are preaching, we are doing all that. And on the outside, everybody sees us to be a good person. But within you, what is the voice inside you saying? That is the person within. And that is your character. The man within, the woman within is your character. All right. Now, Hope L, good presentation. Join late, but want to find out how best can leaders demonstrate tolerance to the reaction of their followers. How can you demonstrate tolerance? Yes, it is a big challenge for a lot of leaders, especially when we are running every day. We look at some of the 15 diseases where we are emotionally and mentally, focused on our work. Pope Francis called it the emotional petrification. You're so focused on your work that you don't even consider the people around you. And I have this problem sometimes because I want to achieve something, I'm just thinking that whatever I'm doing is right. And then before I realize, the people around me will draw my attention to the fact that, no, what you're going is not, maybe you're being too harsh or something. It's very important that you are mindful that the people around you are the reason why you are leading. You are not leading because of the results, because of the numbers. Yes, they are important. The vision is important. The numbers are important. The targets are important. The goals are important. But leadership is not about numbers. It's not about goals. It's not about the vision even. Leadership is about the people. It's about the people. How do you add value to the people? Now, if we understand this, then we want to do everything to be able to, understand the people. And it comes from ability to listen to them. You can be tolerant by listening to them. A lot of the time, we don't. I mean, recently I had a family meeting with my family and children, and one of the things that they brought out to me is that I don't listen to them enough. I don't listen to them. I just give them instruction and preach to them, and then I move on. But listening is very important. Okay, so we need to listen to them. That is the key to be able to understand what they are saying, understand their reactions, and be able to lead them better. Okay, I hope that helped. Hope. All right. I see David. David says, Sam, thanks, Sam, for this excellent presentation. How can we deal with the issue of character in the church where people are afraid to deal with character issues? Yes, big one. Especially in the church, we cover ourselves with so many things, especially with the leadership. And then they will tell you, don't touch the anointed of God or something like that. And they put, I'm the man of God, I'm the elder. How do you talk to a preacher like this? How do you talk to an elder like that? As I said, you cannot pray yourself out of bad character. It can only come from discipline. So there are some things that prayers don't work. So whenever somebody has a problem, a character issue in the church, then we say, let's pray for him. Yes, prayer is important. But prayer alone will not solve the issue. The Bible talks about working out your own salvation watch and pray, and passages like that go to the point of the need for you to take action on the issues. So the church needs to go back to the old days of calling people to order and asking and emphasizing the character. The problem is that we have so many so-called church leaders whose character and behavior is just undermining the purpose of the gospel. And so a lot of people have actually given up. So we need to sit back. We need to go back to the old principles. We need to call people one-on-one. We need to call people before two people, like Jesus said. Call the person, address the issues. If they bring other people into it, and let's encourage people. Let's also set processes into the church system to be able to help people, because sometimes, people are struggling with some emotional and psychological and mental issues. Let's bring professionals into the game, because a lot of the time the church thinks that they can only solve every problem by either prayer or reading the Bible to somebody. It doesn't work like that. Sometimes we need psychologists, we need some professionals, psychiatrists to come into it. You saw the video about Donald Trump where the psychiatrists are analyzing his personality. You sometimes need people, professionals, to help. So that's what I would say about that. Okay. The next one, David, secondly, what is the role of character in staying at the top? It is cardinal. It's actually the most important. So you don't build character just to get to the top, but character keeps you at the top. And that is why we see a lot of and recently there's been cases in the press about some influential religious tele-evangelists who just drop. You need to work hard to get to the top, but even harder to stay there. In fact, it is harder to stay at the top than to work your way to the top. So once you are at the top there, everybody is looking at you. Okay? As John Maxwell would say, the higher you go, the less are your options and your choices. Because when you are at the bottom, there are things that you can be excused. But when you are at the top, you cannot excuse yourself. So it is critical, it's absolutely important. Character, character, character. As somebody has said, charisma will put you through the door, but it is character that keeps you in. A lot of us go to interviews and we prepare so well for the interview. We prepare, we check our CVs and things, and then we go for the interview. Now, during the interview, some of the questions are character questions, and they test your character, and we find that, yes, your CV, nice CV, have put you through the door, but when they begin to ask you tough questions, what are the most difficult things you've dealt with, and they begin to, shake you up, you find that you don't have the character. And they may even employ you in the organization. And just a few months into the organization, they find that this person is not disciplined. He cannot even finish one thing. He cannot follow up. As we talk about trust, caring for expectations and things like that. Very, very important. All right. Okay. Joshua Sintim says, great lesson. One may have great hope in his vision, but others may doubt him. Therefore, we want him to review his vision. How can he move on and chase the vision without being branded stubborn or difficult? All right. So Joshua, if I understand what you're saying is that you may want your vision, you want to achieve your vision, but there may be people who, because they don't want you to achieve your vision, or they want you to change your direction, may say you are stubborn. And so how can you move on with your vision without being branded stubborn? Now, I don't know what the vision is that you want to achieve, but if that vision involves the people around you, if it involves the people you are leading, their feedback is very important. You cannot ignore their feedback and still say, well, me, that's my vision, this is what I want to go. And that's what we are talking about. A lot of the time, leaders think that the vision is more important than the people, than their character. Okay? It is not correct. So how do you come, and I believe in one of the lessons, we talk about the popular leadership proverb that if you think you are leading and nobody is following you, you are only going on a walk. And we play that on our promo video all the time. You have a vision and you are running and chasing after the vision, but you are alone on that vision. That means you are not a leader. You are probably a sole runner. You're just running a marathon on yourself just to go and get a medal for yourself. But if you're leading people, you cannot say, well, my vision is more important, so I don't care about what your views are. It's absolutely important that we care about the people's comments. All right? Okay. I see Steve Ofosudankwa looking at the importance of character in leadership. It means have a first class in university or having just that script. Okay, it means having a first class in university or having a lot of degrees does not guarantee good leadership. That is spot on. Leadership is not about intelligence, as we said. And we see a lot of first-class people who come to the world and they flop. Okay? So being smart, intelligent, that is the IQ. In the past, a lot of people, measured people's intelligence just by their mental abilities, IQ. One of the very first lessons we learned on this platform was emotional intelligence. And that also comes from character. Your level of emotional intelligence is very important. Your character is very important. What you believe in, what values you stand with, what principles you live by, how you respect people, how you treat people. Those are so important because leadership is about people. So it's not about your certificate, it's not about your first degree, it's not about your smartness. As I said, there are some mistakes that only intelligent people commit. All right. So let's get that one. All right. Well, that's a good point there. Listening. Thank you very much. William Darford say very insightful, but late in joining. God bless you. No problem, William. This is being recorded, so you would have the recording on our website. Cynthia is asking, he says, I'm really enjoying and still learning so much from you. This program ought not be free. God bless you. Thank you very much. Well, we would, for now, it is. And so we encourage you. The next program we are going to do will not be free, the one in January. And we encourage all of you who are here to it's a whole day program. We have two options, a whole day program, and the second option is 2 days, which we will do half day over the weekend. So make a date with us and sign for the Put Your Dream to the Test. You will not regret it. All right? Okay. So BJ, if character can take you to the top, can it also bring you down? Absolutely. Character will take you up, keep you there, or bring you down. Douglas say, how do you change perception of how do you change the perception of a person? I think it's a person with bad character. Well, for now, let us focus on ourselves first. you focus on yourself, and once you have good character and you have credibility, that is where you start from. If you have good character and you have credibility, it's easier. And I was talking to you about the way I talk to one of almost every CEO I've worked with. Whenever there is issue, I go. One of my CEOs in particular, he used to terrorize everybody, even the directors on the board. The regulators. He's just, abrasive, and he just feels that that's it. And everybody was just afraid of him. And so I had to go to him. So one day after work, of course, I prayed and I asked him for time to talk to him. Okay, usually he'll go late. So I went to his office, I sat with him, and I drew his attention. Boss, you're a great guy, you have great vision, you have this for this organization, you have done A, B, C, D, let them see what good they are. It's because everybody has a good and a downside. Because a lot of the time when we are leading, we don't know that we are killing people on the way. That's exactly what happens to leaders. We are focused on the vision. But this and this and this are the problems that is causing a lot of problems. So talk to the person. And as you talk to the person and you guide the person, if you think that it is beyond you, look for somebody who can advise him and then let the person come in. So there are several ways you can help people. If you can help them, help them. If you are not in a position, if you can get somebody else to talk to them, please let somebody talk to them. Jerry says, good evening, Sam. Please, how can a manager combine management with leadership in order to be a good leader? Well, I don't know if it's on this platform. We discussed the differences between management and leadership. Yeah, I think it's one of the platforms we've discussed this. Yes, management is very important. You need management in certain to be able to improve in your leadership. But management is not the same as leadership. Management is simply your ability to organize, keep systems working, and so on and so forth. And developing strategy and all that is very important. Maintaining systems and the status quo. But leadership is about change. It's about the people. Management is about the systems and the processes. You need the systems and the processes. You need the policies to be in place, but you also need the people side, which is the leadership side. A lot of managers just focus on systems and the procedures. So the policy is I come to work at 5, at 8 and close at 5. This is maybe a single mother or a mother who have young babies and who has to take care of them and take them to school before being able to come to work, and comes to you as a manager and says, well, boss, I have a request. Because of my children, by the time I finish everything, I have to come to work late. And so I want to see if I can come to work at 9 and I'm prepared to work till 6. You say, no. The policy is you come to work at 8. If you can't come to work at 8, then maybe you have to leave the work. In that case, you are just being overly managerial, following the rules. You have to look at the person and lead everybody as an individual. That is very, very important. So yes, both sides are important. All right, Perry says, great presentation. Thank you. Marcelina Ason say, I think Douglas wants to say how to change a perceived bad character. All right, okay. So now perceptions are very, very powerful. And if it's a perception, then make sure that it is reality. How do you make sure it's reality? Ask. please ask. And if it is you that people perceive you to have bad character, then it's a communication problem. So you need to be able to see, what are you communicating? What character are you communicating? How are people seeing you? Why are they seeing you the way they see you? So put yourself through the lens. We talk about self-leadership. It is part of the process. Asking yourself, why do people see me like this? And then answer that question and address the weaknesses that you see in that situation. So if it's a perception, come to the reality. Drill down and make sure that you are dealing with the reality and not a perception. If you are perceiving bad character in another person, I think it is also communication. Sit with the person. Ask, why do you behave this way? In a genuine way. And what can we do to help this situation? That way, the person, sometimes as we've said over and over, the person may not even be aware of that behavior or character. And as you go through it, you'll be able to then help the person to address. So thank you so much, Marcelina, for helping us. And Douglas Amati, yes, okay. So we have Benny Wells. Benny Wells says, this was absolutely great and certainly needs to be shared and shared. If more individuals are aware of such information, perhaps they can be better prepared to stand up and speak out against wrongs in order to save their own character more than their job. Some leaders can be spiteful and thoughtless and think they will never have to answer to anyone. Thank you very much. Thank you, Benny. This is true. We need to, as leaders, to be sensitive to others. Hope L, what do you say to people who want to change things to work in their favor, but they continually try to make people believe that what they are doing is to the benefit of others? Meanwhile, their change is detrimental to the system. When last week we discussed trust, we talked about the motive for doing things. When we were looking at the behavior as a pillar of trust, your motive as a leader is very important. And guys, this is why we are studying these things. We want us to be genuine, honest leaders. Leadership is not about what you get out of it. Leadership is about what you give, what you put into it, what you bring to the organization. So it pays to be honest about your intentions, about your motives. We see this game played in the corporate world. People are playing games here and there. They just jostling for positions because we think that leadership is about positions. We've said it on this platform over and over. Leadership has nothing to do with positions. There are several people who hold important positions who are not leading. Okay, so if you really want to lead, you have to have clear, clean intentions and motives about why you are doing things. That way, you'll be able to share with the team, explain what you are doing, look at the pros and cons, look at the benefits and the disadvantages and the changes that you are going to bring in, and see if it is truly in the interest of the organization. Absolutely important. All right. Okay. So hope that helps. Okay. Steve Opoku Dankwa says God told Joshua not to look to the left or to the right, but to be strong and very courageous. Does it mean you don't have to mind anybody? I love that one. All right. No. This is what we talked about. What are your principles? That's what God is telling Joshua about it. If you go down, he says, this is the law that I have given to you. If you keep these laws, you will be successful. Don't look left, don't look right. In other words, keep the law, the standards, the values, keep them. Don't turn to the left, don't turn to the right. Keep the values. What do you stand for? When you are standing on good values, good principles, good ethics, then in that case, you can be inflexible. But even there, you have to listen to people and then see where they are coming from. And if it is going to violate the principle, if it's a line that you cannot cross, then you say, guy, this is the red line. I can't cross this line. All right. So, Kofi, I don't know if you have the flyer for the Put Your Dream to the Test, so that we can share the dates with the team on the team online. Otherwise, I think we'll just refer them to go to the website. All right. So I don't see any more questions. So I think I don't see any more questions here. So we want to just thank all of you. Just quickly, let me see if I can get the dates for you so that you can note it in your diaries and begin to register for the Put Your Dream to the Test. All right. So we have 2 dates in January. The first date is the 7th of January. 7th January, we would have a full day. 7th January, a full day from 9 a.m. We'll have a break at 12:30 and take it again at 2:30 and close at 5. It will be on Zoom, so you can join. So that is the 7th of January. Then we would have the 2-day session, which will be the 9th and 10th. This will be the weekend one. The weekend one, the 9th and the 10th, the Saturday and the Sunday. And they will be in the evening. And it will be from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. each day, Saturday. So if you prefer the weekends, we will do it in the evening, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Saturday the 9th, and we'll continue on Sunday the 10th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And they will both be on Zoom. So those are the dates for January. We want you to begin the year. Oh yeah, the flyer is up there. We want you to begin the year well. All the resolutions you are trying to develop for 2021, the visions that you want to achieve, we want to put you on a sound footing, give you principles and ideas that would enable you to be successful with that vision. So please register. The rate is 300 Ghana cedis. It's 300 Ghana cedis, and we'll give you the presentations and the workbook for the course. So I want to, let me just for the last time see if there's any other comments. Well, there's no other comment. Nana says, thank you, Mr. Ayim, God bless you. And I want to thank all of you. And I know there are hundreds of people on the line who have on the side, they're enjoying it. I want to encourage you, please share these flyers, go to the website, review the previous ones, share with your friends. When we share our flyers, go to our website, subscribe to our YouTube so that you can see the videos, and go to our Facebook. These are also recorded live on our Facebook live, and go to our website. There's so many programs that we have. If you are in an organization or in a church that needs leadership development, just contact us. We'll be able to come, look at the organization, review the people, and develop appropriate programs that will help you and your teams. So once again, we want to thank God, the Almighty, who gives us breath and who gives us the wisdom and the energy to be able to do this and make this contribution. We pray that the little that we have shared would go a long way to improve and increase our awareness of what good leadership is about, so that we can all become better leaders. The more better leaders we have, the better our world will be. There can never be a time where we say we have enough of leaders. It's never happened. We need more leaders. So let us all develop and be determined to improve our leadership. Everybody is a leader. So God bless all of you who join, and may the Lord richly bless all of us. All right? Okay, put your drink to the test. Very powerful session. I attended this in the first one this year. Yes, last year we did this one, and somebody is already commending the course. We did it last year, and it was really, really great. It was in person at that time, but because of Corona, we may have to do it. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. Stay blessed. Have a very good night, and go to church tomorrow. Bye-bye.
There is a popular saying in leadership that if you think you're leading and there's nobody following you, you are only going on a walk. On this platform, you are going to learn principles of leadership. You are going to encounter different leaders. You are going to learn about how you can grow as a leader, how you can make an impact. My name is Samuel Ayim, and I'm the host for the leadership platform. I am a leadership coach, a lawyer by profession, a John C. Maxwell certified coach. I have been in corporate life in senior positions for several years, and now I run the Center for Transformational Leadership, where we train and coach leaders to become better leaders. And I invite you to go on a journey with us as we discuss the subject of leadership in the coming weeks.
This and every Saturday, you have opportunity to ask questions, share your views on important leadership matters.